I'm currently in a tuk-tuk and I have no idea where I'm going.
This is the start of a 24-hour drive that is part of my quest to figure out how far can 10,000 rupees in a tuk-tuk get me. But why? Well, India is considered the scam capital of the world and it's notoriously well known for tuk-tuk scams. So what if we showed up with a bag full of money and told them to take me wherever they wanted? In theory, 10,000 rupees is enough to get us 800 kilometers of travel, which is essentially halfway across the country. If our driver is honest, well, we'll give him 10,000 in cash and the road trip of a lifetime.
Right, today's the big day. I'm currently in Mumbai, India. We've got to find ourselves a tuk-tuk.
Now, the guide I had initially hired to help us translate was running on Indian Standard Time and was somehow 3 hours late.
Right, so the guide I planned to come decided not to show up. So we've got a temporary guide for now who's going to help us translate while asking these guys if they can take us to the middle of nowhere. Excuse me, sir. How far would 10,000 rupees take me?
No.
No? No? Okay, guess not. Nagpur? What? I think they all think I'm crazy. This guy.
After being rejected about a dozen times in a language I didn't even speak,
They don't even want to pick us up.
I started to realize that convincing someone to drive over 800 kilometers was going to be a lot harder than I thought. That was until our guide made a quick call.
Literally none of these guys want to take us. I think he's organized for us a driver. You got someone? Can we meet him? Yeah? Good to finally meet you.
Finally. Sham.
Nice to meet you.
And after talking back and forth with the driver, we realized that what we were doing is actually illegal. Since his tuk-tuk was marked MH03 and no cabs marked with that number were legally allowed out of the city. But Sham was gonna do it anyway.
Right, and we're off! Now this tuk-tuk's gonna be our home for the next 3 days, and wherever we end up, it's all gonna be on this guy. Our life is in
His hands.
Now 10,000 rupees in a tuk-tuk is approximately 800 kilometers of travel, or the entire length of France. Not only that, but there are 3 mystery stops along the way to our final destination, all of which were only known to our driver.
These also aren't the safest vehicles because, for one, we literally do not have any doors. I don't think we've got airbags, and it doesn't help that we're in a country that practically doesn't have driving laws. So, for the next 1,000 kilometers, this is what we're going to be in.
The tuk-tuk ate up kilometer after kilometer, flying through the outskirts of Mumbai, heading towards our first stop of the journey, someplace 300 kilometers west.
Dude, where the hell are we going?
I don't know, you see.
Now look, we weren't off to the best of starts. We'd already popped a tire, we're 4 hours behind schedule, and our tuk-tuk wasn't even allowed to be on the roads we were on. The only thing that could have made everything even worse was if a policeman pulled us over. Oh, you got to be f***ing kidding me.
Oh, he just called that double speed.
Just told them to go away,
Thank God for that. Turns out the police have less say than an Asian kid and their career choices.
You doctor yet?
As we approached our first stop, Sham decided to take the tuk-tuk for a little bit of off-roading. Probably the first time any tuk-tuk has been off-road.
Sean, you brave man. You brave man. We made it. This is our first stop.
Yeah.
Oh God. So what was our first stop? A waterfall.
Not much of a waterfall.
With no water.
Not much of a waterfall at all. Did you think 24 hours ago you would end up at a random waterfall with 2 Australians? Yeah, we better get to Nashik before it gets really dark, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that was quite disappointing, but at least Sham was entertained. Now, Nashik was just less than 100 kilometers away, which would usually be plenty of time for a normal car. And as the sun started to set, things were starting to get dangerous. And what's worse, we also started running out of gas.
That's a low gas indicator. That is not a good sign. We're 40 minutes out from town. I think we've got 1 bar of gas left. Every single petrol station we passed is out of gas. Yeah, this is going to be tight. 4 more kilometers till the next gas station. We made it! And we've only done 6 hours today. We did half of what we were supposed to do.
After 300 kilometers and our slightly depressing pit stop, we had made it to a place to call home for the night.
We made it. We're alive.
Ready to do it all again the next morning. While we weren't off to a great start, we had discovered something about Sham on the way home from dinner last night.
Sham told us about how one of his dreams was always to go to a safari, so we're gonna make that come true, and he has no idea about it.
Our new mission was to travel to the nearest safari 500 kilometers away, and it was all in an effort effort to make Sham's safari dream come true.
Oh man, what have I got myself into?
Our TukTuk was making some funny noises yesterday, so hopefully we can even start it today. Okay, we're good. It's day 2, we've managed to get 200 Ks on the first day. It took us 8 hours to get here, but I think today we're gonna try to do an extra 100K on top of that. So whatever pain we were in yesterday, multiply that by 10. Decided that the end destination is going to be a tiger safari because we're gonna surprise the driver who I guess he doesn't know what I'm saying right now.
To make it less obvious, we continued on our journey for another 150 kilometers, stopping every so often to see some sort of a temple.
Was it worth a 500-kilometer drive?
Holy crap.
Wow.
It didn't really matter though, as long as it distracted Sham. And to make it to the safari, we still had 350 kilometers to go. So into the night we drove.
John and I don't think we're gonna make it, but the driver is convinced that he can get to the safari area, and he has no idea that it's actually for him. If he gets us there, then he's the real hero. He's gonna try to do 5 more hours of driving today, 5 p.m. already, so we're gonna be driving pretty much into midnight.
Until fate would have it, we again started running out of gas.
For the last like 10 kilometers, we've been running on empty and made no gas station. The next one's in like 6 kilometers. I don't know if we're gonna make it. And my Wi-Fi's gone.
The entire city of Aurangabad was striking against tuk-tuk drivers, meaning gas stations wouldn't supply us with gas for the next 200 kilometers, meaning we were done. But we weren't gonna stop until Sham's dream came true. So as a last-ditch effort, we decided to hitchhike. 300 kilometers stood between us and the safari, and we had less than 8 hours to get there before it closed.
Do you have space for 4 people?
Where are you going?
Nagpur.
Now, after getting dropped off on the middle of a highway 100 kilometers from our destination, we were running out of time, and also apparently luck. At this point, we were almost ready to walk the next 100 kilometers.
Hey buddy, can you drive us?
Until finally,
Dude, we got both sides. Oh, that car's very nice.
No longer on the side of the highway.
and after almost 300 kilometers of hitchhiking, we had finally made it.
Jungle Safari?
Yeah.
You're coming with us.
Thank you.
No rickshaw to take care of.
No.
You excited?
Yeah.
Excited?
We had traveled over 800 kilometers just for this moment, but it was obvious to me that there was just one thing that Sham would have wanted more: to see his family. Leaving his wife, 3 daughters, and 2 sons behind for 4 days was a massive sacrifice. He would call them at every chance he got, and so after 4 days on the road together, I wanted to help him out just a little more.
Now, initially the challenge was 10 grand, but we're just gonna double it since he's gotten us through a lot. As promised, 20,000 in there. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I'm happy. You're happy, I'm happy.
I'm happy.
You're happy? Then that's good. That's good.
And even though $10,000 didn't get us very far, I would do it all again just to see Sham smile.
Good?